When the transport shuttle pierced the blue mist surrounding Arction Academy, no one expected one of its new cadets to be human. The Academy was a floating citadel above the gas giant Alaris, where species from across 5 galaxies trained to become officers in the Galactic Coalition Defense Fleet. It was a place of intellect, discipline, and alien camaraderie, everything humanity had been kept at a polite distance from for decades. But as the hatch opened, a tall, lean figure stepped out wearing a plain gray uniform. His name was Elias Carter, the first human ever accepted into the Academy. Whispers rippled through the crowd of incoming cadets. "That's the Earth species, isn't it? They don't even have telepathy. I heard they rely on muscle tissue for strength." Elias ignored the stares. His eyes scanned the citadel's silver spires and the shimmering holographic banners bearing the Academy's crest, a winged comet over crossed stars. He had dreamed of this since he was 12, when he first intercepted forbidden alien broadcasts from Earth's orbital blockade. A gentle hum drew his attention. Beside him hovered a spherical drone, its eye flickering with soft blue light. "Cadet Carter," it chirped. "Welcome to Arction Academy. You are advised to avoid confrontation. Most species here have never interacted with your kind." Elias smirked. "Good to know, Helix. I'll try not to start a war before breakfast." Chapter 1: The Outsider. Orientation day was chaos. Hundreds of cadets streamed through the halls, reptilian Threxans, gelatinous Nulvians, crystalline Tlari, and winged Ethrians, each more extraordinary than the last. Elias felt like an intruder in a cosmic zoo. In the amphitheater, the commandant appeared as a towering projection of light. "You are no longer children of your worlds," he declared. "You are cadets of the Coalition. Here, merit alone defines your worth." Elias listened closely. That was why he'd come, to prove humans could stand with the galaxy's best. After the speech, he was assigned to Squad Delta 19 under Instructor Varkesh, a 6-eyed, scale-covered veteran whose tail flicked when he was displeased, which Elias learned quickly was almost always human. Varkesh hissed on the first day of drills. "You will find no special treatment here. Fail to keep up, and you'll be dismissed like any other weakling." Elias simply nodded. "Understood, sir." His squad mates didn't make it easier. Jira, a Tlari cadet whose crystalline form glowed faintly green, refused to speak to him. Roth, a Threxan with plated skin, made sure Elias knew humans were considered primitive. Only Kalen, a winged Ethrian, seemed curious rather than hostile. "Your body structure is fragile," Kalen observed during combat training. "How do you plan to survive simulation rounds?" "By not getting hit," Elias replied, dodging another stun bolt. Despite the mockery, Elias adapted fast. His reflexes, honed by years of Earth's gravity, gave him an advantage in the Academy's lighter atmosphere. He couldn't fly or shift his molecular density like some of them, but he could run, climb, and think creatively. The instructors noticed. Chapter 2: The Fracture. 3 months later, Squad Delta 19 was sent on a live simulation exercise on training moon Cora 7, a rocky terrain filled with gravity pockets and magnetic storms. The mission: retrieve an energy core from a crashed probe while evading robotic sentinels. Elias felt excitement course through him as he loaded his plasma pistol. Helix floated at his shoulder, projecting tactical maps. "Cadet Carter," it said, "mission success probability is 21%. "Good thing I'm feeling lucky," Elias replied. The squad launched across the craggy plain, leaping between gravity zones. Roth took point, roaring as he crushed 2 sentinels with his arm blades. Kalen soared above, wings glinting silver. Elias stayed low, using cover and strategy rather than brute force. It was going well until the terrain shifted. A tremor cracked through the valley. Rocks exploded upward as a gravity pocket destabilized. Roth, mid-leap, was hurled sideways into a jagged cliff. The sickening crunch echoed through comms. "Roth's down," Kalen shouted. "He's hurt." The squad gathered quickly. Roth lay sprawled on the rocks, his right arm bent at an impossible angle. His species' exoskeleton was fractured. Beneath it, his inner tissue was exposed, dark fluid seeping into the dust. Jira knelt beside him. "His internal bone lattice is shattered. He'll need medical evacuation." Varkesh's voice crackled over comms. "Evacuation impossible until the storm passes. Secure your position and wait." But Roth's breathing was shallow. His eyes flickered. "I can't feel my claws," he rasped. Elias's mind raced. He knew enough xenobiology to recognize a compound fracture. He also knew that without stabilization, Roth could lose the limb or his life. The others hesitated, unsure how to help a Threxan without proper med gear. "I can fix it," Elias said suddenly. Jira's crystalline head snapped toward him. You're not even certified." "I studied alien physiology before I came here," Elias insisted. "Threxan bone structures similar to calcified carbon. If I can realign the lattice and bind it, he'll survive." Kalen's wings rustled uneasily. "If you fail, you could make it worse." Elias met his eyes. "If I don't, he dies." He pulled off his jacket, tearing it into strips. Then, using his field knife and a heat probe, he fashioned splints from nearby crystal shards. Roth groaned as Elias gently positioned the arm. "Hold him," Elias said. Kalen braced Roth's shoulders while Jira stabilized his tail. Elias took a deep breath, recalling the hours he'd spent studying alien anatomy under an illegal Earth mentor. Human medicine wasn't meant for this, but medicine was still universal compassion translated through knowledge. He pressed his hands to the fracture. "Sorry, big guy. This'll hurt." With a swift motion, he realigned the bone. Roth roared, a sound that shook the air. Elias tightened the crystal splints, sealed the wound edges with a heat probe, and wrapped the arm in cloth. Then, to everyone's astonishment, he activated a vial of regenerative gel, a prototype he'd brought from Earth research labs, and applied it along the seam. The blue compound shimmered, fusing seamlessly with the Threxan's tissue. Roth's breathing steadied. The bleeding stopped. Helix scanned him. Vitals stabilizing. Bone alignment at 87%. Remarkable. The squad stared at Elias in stunned silence. Even Jira's glow flickered with disbelief. Kalen whispered, "You just saved him." Elias wiped sweat from his brow. "That's what humans do." Chapter 3. Ripples through the Academy. News spread fast. By the time Delta 19 returned, half the Academy was buzzing with the story. The human used primitive tools to mend a Threxan fracture. They say he used Earth medicine, unauthorized substances. Maybe the species isn't as helpless as we thought. Varkesh summoned Elias to his office, the air thick with tension. "You disobeyed procedure," the instructor growled. "You administered alien treatment without clearance." "Yes, sir," Elias said evenly. "But if I hadn't, Cadet Roth would have died before evacuation." Varkesh's eyes narrowed, then, unexpectedly, he bowed his head slightly. "Your methods were reckless, but effective." The Academy's medical division confirmed full recovery within 48 hours. Even our healers are studying your technique. He turned, his scales glinting. You've embarrassed me, human, by proving me wrong. From that day everything changed. Cadets who once mocked Elias began asking him questions about Earth medicine, human adaptability, and his strange regenerative gel. Roth, the once hostile Threxan, became his loudest supporter. If you ever need a shield in battle, Roth told him gruffly, mine's yours. Even Jira, reserved and crystalline, admitted, your improvisation defied probability. I misjudged you. Elias didn't bask in the attention. He was just glad Roth was alive. But deep down he realized something powerful. Compassion could bridge even the vastest species divide. Chapter 4. The Test of Unity. The Academy leadership soon announced the Unity Trials, an inter-squad competition designed to test cooperation between species. Teams would face simulated crises, disasters, negotiations, and combat scenarios. The prize: commendation from the Coalition's High Council. Varkesh nominated Delta 19 to represent the class. If any squad understands unity, he said, it's yours. The final test took place in a vast holographic arena, a replica of a collapsing space station. Fires roared, debris fell, and the systems failed in real time. The goal: stabilize the station's core and evacuate simulated civilians. Elias took command instinctively. Roth, Kalen, secure the structural supports. Jira, reroute power through the conduits. I'll get the core stabilizers back online. They moved like clockwork. Months of training and mutual trust paid off. When a plasma conduit exploded near Kalen, Elias dove forward, shielding him from the blast. When the ceiling collapsed, Roth's massive frame held it up long enough for everyone to escape. At the final moment, Elias reached the reactor chamber. The core's containment was failing. 1 minute to meltdown. We can't shut it down, Jira shouted. The control nodes are fused. Then we override manually, Elias said, tearing off a control panel. Helix, route my neural link into the mainframe. Warning: human neural patterns incompatible with Xyler tech. Do it anyway. Pain seared through Elias's skull as the system linked. He visualized the reactor's structure, mentally isolating damaged nodes. His biological brain lacked the telepathic interfaces other species used, but he compensated with raw intuition. Almost there. The timer hit 0 and froze. The reactor stabilized, blue light pulsing gently. The crowd watching from the observation deck erupted in cheers. Delta 19 had done it. They hadn't just passed, they'd set a record. Chapter 5. A new dawn. At the graduation ceremony months later, the commandant himself addressed Elias before thousands of cadets. Cadet Elias Carter of Earth, the holographic giant intoned, you entered this academy as an anomaly. You leave it as a symbol. Your courage and compassion remind us that the measure of a being is not in its species, but its spirit. Elias saluted, his heart pounding as the crowd rose to applaud. A sea of claws, wings, tendrils, and hands united in respect. Roth, standing beside him, grinned. You ever think you'd make aliens clap for a human? Elias chuckled. Not in my wildest dreams. As the ceremony ended, the commandant approached privately. The council wishes to assign you to a deep space medical unit. They believe your hybrid methods could revolutionize xenobiology. Elias nodded slowly. I'll go wherever I'm needed. Later, aboard a shuttle leaving Arction, he gazed down at the academy, a glowing beacon drifting in the clouds of Alaris. Around him, stars stretched like endless possibilities. Helix hovered beside him. Cadet Carter, your next assignment awaits. Not cadet anymore, Elias said softly. Just a human doing his part. He smiled, thinking of Roth's laughter, Jira's crystalline hum, Kalen's wing beats, and the moment when a simple act of healing had changed everything. Epilogue. The whisper through the stars years later, across the coalition. Stories spread of a human medic who could heal injuries no other doctor dared touch. Some said he used alien science mixed with ancient human empathy. Others said he simply refused to let anyone die alone. At Arction Academy, new recruits still whispered his name during orientation. Did you hear about the human who fixed a Threxon's broken arm? Yeah. They say that's when the galaxy started to see Earth differently. And among the stars, Elias Carter continued his quiet mission, not of conquest or glory, but of connection. Because sometimes, the smallest act of compassion could echo louder than any war cry.